James Baldwin, born August 2nd, 1924, and returned to the Essence December 1st, 1987. He was an American novelist, playwright, and activist. Baldwin's writing career began in the last years of legislative segregation. His fame as a social observer grew in tandem with the civil rights movement as he mirrored blacks' aspirations, disappointments, and coping strategies in a hostile society. Many of his books, essays, and interviews were passed over by literacy critics of the time because they openly discussed homosexuality and homophobia with passion and fierce emotion. The term Baldwinesque was coined after him, referring to his shockingly articulate and flamboyant personality. Did you know that? Well, now you do. Peace.
And currently, oh, okay. And currently, I also have an apparel brand, which is the same name of my company, Shoot Films, Not People.
Dope. I actually got me a shirt, so I'm gonna rock this shirt. And okay. We gonna get it together though. So shoot films, not people. Can you tell me a little bit like where that came from? That's a dope concept, as a matter of fact. Just wanted to tell you that. That's really dope. How did that start and where did that come from?
Well, it really pretty much came like after the Rodney King verdict. I would say like a lot of people was out in the street protesting. I just remember that being a time we watching on TV and everything. And at that time I was in film school. And just being an activist, a community activist, that name kind of popped in my head because it was kind of like my reaction to police brutality, shoot films, not people. And so that's where it came from, and it became the name of my production company. And last year, I decided to morph it into an apparel brand because my last film, Afraid of Dark, I did a Kickstarter and I offered a hoodie as a perk. But that hoodie was also in remembrance to Trayvon Martin, him having a hoodie. So I wanted to kind of make a hoodie in honor and tribute of him because my documentary dealt with the fear of Black men and Black men in America. So that was kind of like paying homage to him. And, every time people would wear it, people would be like, where you get it from, this, that, and that. And my friend, who's a TV director, was like, you really missing out on money. Like every time I wear this hoodie, I'm getting stopped in the airport. You really need to do this. And it was just like, man, I would love to do it, but I don't have the money, to start a business. And he was like, well, how much do you need? And I was like, ew, He's like, write me a proposal and let's see, I wrote him a proposal and he funded it. So that was really the start of the whole apparel brands. February of last year, and then COVID happened. We had all these plans to set up at film festivals, all these things, and then COVID happened. But it kind of forced me to pivot into online, like really pushing my online site and and building an online presence, And I feel like now I actually probably have more followers on my Instagram company page than I actually have on my regular Instagram.
I'm working on that as well. I kind of over the last year started with the apparel, trying to do like merch for the show. And so I actually got a chance to see your Afraid of Dark documentary, and that was really dope.
Thank you.
To tell you that. And again, like I said, I just really I'm a real big advocate of Black business owners, but especially women, women of color, because right now it's really our time. Like we are really, really doing it. And, the more
I believe that.
Yeah, the more I see, the more I get introduced to people like yourself or, just people in the industry as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I do a little dibbling and dabbling and acting myself. I've only been able to be on one web series, and so I actually, I wanted to do that as well. Do you have any advice? I heard you mention you went to film school. A lot of people, they say that, from what a few people that I've heard say that it's kind of like a waste do you think that that's necessary to actually go to film school, or do you feel like it's more, just really get out there and be self-taught?
I feel like back in the day, maybe it was because you didn't have a lot of people doing it and you didn't have the digital world. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really affordable. So I kind of feel like you needed film school at that moment, like in the 90s, because, we had old equipment. We had Bolexes. How many people really owning Bolexes, the wind up cameras? Or people were shooting on Aries, and Aries were like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. You know what I'm saying? It was just a whole different time to shoot film and be in production. But now, because of the digital age, it kind of allows you to, and also film, like schools now, it's so much, like, it's so capitalistic. Like, it's like back in the day, I feel like maybe schools helped you get to a certain place, like with the once you graduated, they offered like different career building, like you could go to the school and look on the job board. I remember all that. And now it's just like people are just sucking people dry from these student loans. And you come out with all this college debt and you have nowhere to go. And I know college is for some people. College is good. It's like church. Church is good for certain people that need that discipline. And same with college. Like my dad used to say, you don't go to school to come out and work for somebody. You go to school to obtain a skill so you can build your own business. If you're looking at it from that point, then it's different. But to come out and say, I'm going to have this amazing job in production, and that's very likely to happen. I feel like now is the time. You got movies, people shooting movies on phones. There's even like you can order different lenses now that attach to your phone. I feel like this is the time to really study the people that you like. And there's so many, like even YouTube has so much information where you can take these courses for free. It's so much information. I just say study the people that you admire, study their work. That's with anything. Like even when building a brand, with apparel, just ideas. I follow other people. I look at their stuff, what they're doing. I follow how they tag. I follow how they lay out certain things and take photos of it. I look into all that and kind of incorporate those things. And I feel like that's with anything. This is the age of information. Information is free. If you know that you're not that type of person that could really be self-taught and you may need another platform, then maybe school is more for you. You need that discipline. But if you're the type of person that you're a fast learner and you know that that's something you like and you're a do-it-yourself type of person, then maybe school is not for you. It's more so doing it. You're a learner that's gonna learn from your own mistakes, filming it, and setting up a camera and things like that. Because I don't even think that Issa Rae even go to school. Like she just started the web series. It's like if you study people too, and you see that a lot of people didn't go to college. It's something they were passionate about and they just started doing it.
Right. Speaking of inspirations, who are some of your biggest inspirations that made you want to get into the film industry?
Well, at that time it was definitely Spike Lee. I think Spike Lee paved the way for so many people because that was in the 90s, and you had two people. You had Spike Lee and then you had John Singleton that came a little later. But Spike Lee, you had women like Julie Dash. You had I remember this sister Leslie Harris. She did that movie Girl on the IRT. You had independent filmmakers that were doing it, because in film school, of course, who you think you were learning about? You was learning about Martin Scorsese, all those, Steven Spielberg, but Spike Lee and those people were very rarely taught, but like they were like few and many. It wasn't so many of us then doing it, but Spike Lee, I feel like, was definitely instrumental in so many Black people wanting to be filmmakers. Mine was from the movie Do the Right Thing. That movie was so brilliant. It's still very brilliant to this day. I think I still have the DVD, and it's just so powerful. And then even if you look at Do the Right Thing now, you just see how that's a testimony of stuff we still going through. You know what I'm saying? Like Radio Raheem, Radio Raheem is Trayvon Martin. Radio Raheem is Michael Brown. Radio Raheem is all the brothers that have been choked out by the police, all the, you know what I'm saying? It's like so much relevancy in that movie, you know,
Right.
and power, you know, protest, all that, you know. So
Right. So like I said, I was able to see the After Dark, the Afraid of Dark. I'm sorry. What are some other projects that you've had? Are they out there, or can people go look at them and view them?
well, Afraid of Dark is on a platform called Quaily TV. It's actually this dope sister named LaShonda that has that platform. Quaily TV is like a Black owned Netflix.
Oh wow.
So Quaily TV is like $4.99 a month, and it opens you up to all these Black films, from documentary, short films to feature films. And it's a sister that owns that platform, and it has come, like, it's really big right now. You know, it's come a long way since I joined. Silence in Search of Black Female Sexuality, I had it on Amazon Prime, but it's off. I have a distributor that distributes it, but yeah, it's just basically putting that on. That was my first film.
Okay.
I would say those two feature films. I have a feature that's being shot now. It's a horror film that I wrote, because I kind of, like, when I moved to LA, I kind of got out of production and wanted to be more in the writing arena. And it's been a struggle, because LA is all about, everywhere is all about who you know, but I feel like here it's even more so. In New York, at least you stand a chance of being an independent filmmaker.
Oh, okay.
Here it's just so much things you got to go, well, who is this writer, and what have they written, and blah 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 blah, you know what I'm saying? Whereas in New York, it's like independent. You let somebody read it, they can make it happen. It's just, LA is a whole different place.
How was it for you moving to LA? Because I'm from Texas, so me moving here to New York, this is my first time ever moving anywhere. I've been all my life. How was it? Was it like a leap of faith for you? Like, what made you say, you know what, I'm about to go to LA?
I mean, it was a leap of faith, and it was other things as well. Like, you know, as women, I don't want to say it, but you know, it's always a dude lingering in the back. But you know, yeah, since 2005, I was always going back and forth from New York to LA. I met this filmmaker, both from Chicago, and also, like, you know, he was a filmmaker. This is my investor, but yeah, it's like I would always come out here and visit, and also just show my films out here. So it was kind of like, you know, I always wanted to live here. And then me having a son, I didn't want to uproot him from school in New York. I tried it in 2006. I came, I didn't really like it, and I went back. And I was like, okay. But when I went back, it was kind of always in the back of my head, like, let me go back to LA and try it again. But I want to wait till my son graduate. So then it's like I could then live my dream, you know. And in 2016, when he graduated, I said, let me go. And it's been, I'm going on 5 years now, but it has been, LA is a different place. It's definitely not like New York at all. It's totally different. And I feel like for 2.5 years, or actually 3 years, it was so hard for me to process that it's a different place. It's very isolated. So, you know, it's not as culturally rich as New York. You walk down the streets of New York, you know how it is. You seeing people you know. It's very community oriented, Black people, Black culture. Here it's the total opposite. It's like you'll see Black people, and Black people, it's like California is so spread out. So it's really not a Black place other than Leimert Park that you can go and see people, because it's so spread out. You may have friends that you may not even see but once a month, because LA is an isolating place, and that could be depressing if you're not grounded, you know. So it's still like an adjustment period. I feel like I have friends that moved here from New York too, and we have our own little thing that goes on. You know, we make time for each other. But I honestly feel like if I didn't have that and people that I knew before I moved here, it would have been more difficult. You know?
What advice would you give to somebody right now who may be watching, who wants to, you know, like you said, take that step, and they want to get into filmmaking and directing and production? What are some of the, I guess, give me a few of the, you know, misconceptions or some of the trials and tribulations you went through, and then also some of the beautiful things that you went through as well?
Well, I would say, like, in terms of film, I would just do it. I feel like a lot of times we're so much in our head and we're like our worst critics, and we kind of shoot our own selves in the foot by being too overly critical of ourselves. You get better through experience. So even if your first film is crap, it's like a short film that just bombed, or even if it's something you shooting just for you, it's experience. It's shooting that's gonna make you stronger. And in terms of writing, I've grown as a writer moving here to LA. In New York, I feel like New York is great for independent filmmaking, but LA is really the center of film, and here they're really particular about structure and beats. And because of that, it made me a better writer. Like, what is your page 10? There's like, what is page 30 looking like? What is page 60? I mean, they're really on the beats here. Like, turn to page 10, this is what I should see. I turn to page 25, I know that should be the end of act 1, so it's like when you learn those beats, this is what Hollywood wants to see, so it's when you send your script out for notes, you get those notes back. Sometimes the notes are like, wow, you want to quit, because it's like the notes just rip your script apart. But I feel like you just got to keep going, because in those notes, everybody has something to say. You have to figure out what is the underlying message that everybody's saying. Because if you keep sending it out for notes, everybody's going to always say something. And that's what I had to learn. Like, you just keep getting scripts back. Like, dang, they saying this, they saying that. Oh, my God. And you may want to change it. But then after a while, you kill the essence of it, So you got to just know when to quit by maybe having that everybody say the same one thing. Maybe that's something you need to look at. But yeah, sharing your work, I feel like is important. Not so much with friends, because friends and family are going to tell you kind of what you want to hear. Yeah. Unless you got a good friend that's direct, like a Virgo, where they don't give a shit. And they're not trying to, they don't care. They just say what they want to say. A Virgo's going to tell you, but every other person gonna be nice. So you wanna look for support outside of your circle that can really be honest with your work and tell you, because that's how you grow as an artist. It's basically taking constructive criticism and growing with it. It's like, especially as a writer, like, your first draft is going to be shit. That's just how it goes, because at your first draft is you just getting it out. You know what I'm saying? It's like molding clay. It's like when you get a piece of clay, you slap it on the counter, it's lumpy, it's not cute. It's like you don't even know what to do with it. But as you shape it on a daily and you put love into it and energy into it, it shapes and it forms into what you want. That's with anything. That's with writing, especially. Like, your first, second draft is going to be like, ew. But you start building the elements of your character. As you learn more about your character, you become comfortable with it, and that character becomes a part of you. And that's how the script gets better. So I would just say you got to keep going. That the thing that divides artists from people that dream is consistency. You could say you want to do something, but what are you putting into it? What energy are you putting into it to make it happen? Writers write every day. Writers write every day, even if it's a paragraph, a sentence, a note, something dealing with the character, something that you come across. You get strong by doing a little bit every day. So I would say consistency is the winner. And we all are dreamers, but what's going to set you aside from being a dreamer and a doer is being consistent. So that's my advice.
Good advice. I want to talk a little bit more before I let you go, because I know you're at the beach, and I ain't gonna hold you too long.
It's all good.
Talk a little bit more about your apparel company, and where people can find it, and again, a little bit more about that.
Okay, so Shoot Films Not People Apparel. It's definitely growing on me. I feel like I've always been a creative person. Like, I used to crochet, I used to sew, I used to do like paper mache, like all these different things, artists, poetry, all those things. So having this apparel brand, I feel like I sometimes do use those techniques, not crocheting or anything like that, but just the love of being creative to enhance pieces. So I do have an online store, but my online store is more, you will find more ship on demand items like my t-shirts and hoodies and stuff. I have a middle person that prints those. But when I'm in the street and I do pop-ups, that's when I get to put more love into my pieces. Like I love to tie-dye. I tie-dye with bleach. I tie-dye with colors. I love to add African print, you know. So yeah, it's becoming more passionate, but also just thinking about other ideas of how I can take it to another level, kind of like Cross Colors did, FUBU did, you know. LA is the perfect place because everybody's in the entertainment industry in some way, or fashion or form, whether it's in their head or whether they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? So that's who I sell to. Most of the people that buy my stuff are either in the entertainment industry, know somebody in it, or they're an activist against gun violence, or they like the message, you know. So
yeah, you got a real big audience, because that can go for anything, especially if so it's dope. Like I said, I got my shirt and I'm gonna definitely shout you out, and you know, and I like the whole movement. I like everything, and I'm a real big advocate again for Black people, but especially Black women, you know, because it's a big misconception of we can't work together, and you know, and we can't get along. But I really want to break that. Like I really want to, you know, break that stigma, because we can get along and we can work together and grow together. And it's a beautiful thing that you're doing.
And it is true, because I when I do a pop-up on Sundays, it's like, it's crazy, because like when you come into Leimert Park on Sundays, it's like all of the clothing people are in the front, and I'm like next to all the other designers out there. You know what I'm saying? And this is where you really think about your mind and your growth, because that limited mindset is, we in competition. Damn, they set up next to me. Damn, people gonna be buying their stuff. And it's really like, you got to step out of that mentality and know that even if that person got an apparel brand that's dope, you still gonna get it, because everybody got different tastes. And that's with everything. Like if you think about McDonald's and Burger King, you got people that like Burger King, you got people that like McDonald's, you got like people who like In-N-Out. There's so many burger places. So why do we have that limited mindset that I'm gonna hate on her because she got an apparel brand? I try to, if I even feel that way, I try to go and I support. I'll buy the shirt. You know what I'm saying? I'll talk to them about their process. I'm right next to them. I kind of study them and see how they talk to people. You know what I'm saying? You can learn a lot by observing, you know. So I would just say, like, yeah, it's enough money in the world for everybody to get it. When we limit ourselves and our thinking to, you know, they got it, they doing better than me, you kill yourself before you grow. You have to think bigger and better. Like, it's money out there for me to get, you know.
Right. Okay, well, again, thank you so much for, you know, taking time out of your day.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, it is nice to meet you. I can't wait to get out to LA. I got a chance to go for my birthday a couple of years ago, so I was only there for like a weekend. But it's more like it's my speed. I would have been a hippie in the 70s, like if I was born in the 70s. So yeah. I would definitely, I can't wait to come out there and to connect with you anytime you in LA, and I mean in New York. If you ever need anybody, you know, an actress or anything, for, you know, holler at me. I will definitely.
Okay. I'm definitely coming out there in August.
Okay. Yeah. We'll have to connect.
And we got to keep in touch.
Absolutely. Well, again, this is My Quality is for Real. I'm Queen My Quality. I have real talks with quality people who have real purpose. And again, this is another dope episode with somebody who is definitely walking in their purpose. Miss Mya B. She's not a DJ like she said, but Miss Mya B. Let the people know.
Can I shout out my Instagram?
Yeah, I was just about to say, let the people know where they can find you and they can follow you, and, you know, all of that good stuff. So
my Instagram is Shoot Films Not Peeps. PEEPS, because somebody stole Shoot Films Not People, but it's Shoot Films Not Peeps. Okay. You'll find me on there, and my website is shootfilmsnotpeople.store. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, you enjoy. So look for us. What was the last thing you said? I was gonna say, look for us. I'm working on an exhibit now, an online exhibition called "I Am a Survivor: The Aftermath," that features gun violence survivors. And so it's gonna be an online art exhibition featuring videos and photography of people that have been shot. Just because I want to change the narrative. People right now, I don't like. You know, we talk about getting shot. A lot of youth talk about getting shot or shooting people, kind of like idolizing it, you know. Mm-hmm. And I want to share the voice of the people that experienced it in their healing process. And I just feel like we need to change the narrative, especially when it comes to younger people and gun ownership. Mm-hmm. So that's my way of giving back, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you again. You enjoy your day.
Thank you.
And I will see you. I will talk to you whenever we get a chance to connect.
All right. Well, you guys have a beautiful morning too, or evening, afternoon.
Thank you. You too. Peace.
Okay, bye. Thank you. Okay, bye.